Welcome to lecture number 22 of the course Introduction to Computer and Programming. In the previous lecture we have seen what is a string, how we can access element of string, and how we initialize the string, memory mapping of string, and passing a string to a function, all these things. Today we will see some of the standard C library function for string manipulation. And these functions are, there are many functions, but we will see in detail 4 of them that are more frequently used in C programming language. And these functions are string length function, string copy function, strcat function, and string compare function. Let's go through our previous lecture. What we did in our previous lecture, we have seen what is a string, what is a null character. That is very important concept when you talk about C strings. Memory map of string, string initialization, displaying string content, input string from the user. There are various methods to display and input string from the user, passing a string to a function. In today's lecture we will see some of the standard C library string functions. You can find the prototype of these functions in string.h header file. The first function is string length function, that is used to determine the length of the string, that is number of character present in the string or number of character that are the part of the string. And then string copy function, strcpy, that is short for string copy, that is used to copy one string in another string. Strcat function, that is used for the concatenation of two strings, that is appending one string at the end of the other string. And string compare function tells you whether the two strings are equal or they are not equal. With every C compiler, a large set of useful string handling C library functions are provided. These are string length function to find the length of the string, string copy function to copy content of one string in another, and strcat to append content of one string after the content of other string, and string compare to compare one string with another string. String length, strlen, that is short for string length. This function is used to find the length of the string. It is short for string length. This function counts the number of characters present in a string. String is a combination of character, and string length counts the number of characters present in that string. Prototype of this function is, this is the name of the function, string length. The return type is integer because it counts. So when you count something, then that value is an integer value, that won't be a floating point value. So it tells you whether the string contains 1, 2, 3 and how kitne number of characters the string mein maujood hain, and the information you are providing to the string is the base address of the string. So this is the information parameter that you are passing to string length function when you are calling that function. And what is that parameter? That is parameter is the base address of the string जिसकी आप length find करना चाहते हैं. The base address of the string must be passed when calling string length function. So let's say this is a string. We have a string str1, and we initialize that string with a string constant hello. So this is a string variable. We can say this is a string variable, its value can be changed, and this is a string constant. We are assigning string constant to a string variable, right? So str will be initialized with the string hello, and what is the length of that string? So there are two major concepts, main concepts here: the length of the string and the memory that is allocated for that string, right? They may not be the same. So string length str1, if you call this function string length and pass it the base address of this string, so that is the base address of str1 string, the name of that string, or the name of character array you can say. So when this function is called, it will return 5, not 6. You remember I told you that whenever you initialize the string like this, it allocates one extra byte, and that extra byte is for the null character, because null is the terminating character. In C, null is the terminating character for every string. So when you initialize this string str1, so its size will be 6. This means that 6 byte of the memory will be allocated. Why 6? Because 5 is for the hello, 1 2 3 4 5, and the 6th byte is for the null character. But string length function, when you call this function, it will return you 5, not 6. It didn't count null character as the part of the string. So null character is there to determine the termination point of the string. So null is not the part of the string, it is just the character that tells where this string terminates. So जब भी आप उसकी length find करेंगे, so it gives you the length of the string without the null character. So null character से पहले जितने भी character आ रहे हैं, they are the part of the string, and null character is actually not the part of the string. It is there to tell the termination of the string, कि string इस point पर terminate हो रही है. Okay. So this is our string hello. So it counts 1 2 3 4 5 characters, and when null occur, it didn't count null and stop counting character, and this function then returns 5. We will see the definition of this function as well. Okay, this is the program. So we have a character array. First character array or a string ARR. His name is ARR, and we initialize it with characters BAM, BOOZ, LED. Right. Then we have a length 1, length 2, and then we call the function string length ARR. So we are passing the base address. This ARR is the base address of this string. So when we pass the base address to string length function, it counts the number of characters. So this function will return 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. This function will return 10, and 10 will be stored in len1. len1 is short for length 1. len2 में हमारे पास we are calling string length function and passing it a string constant Humpty Dumpty. So that is a string constant, right? In that case, it allocates the memory for this string and pass the base address of that string to string length function, and then string length start counting number of characters, and number of characters are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. This space is also a character. 8 9 10 11 12 13. So there are 13 characters in this string. So len2 contains 13. Now when you print the values, it will first print the string and then the length of the string. So the string length function counts the total number of character in the string until it finds null character, right? So in the second printf, you are printing the second string and then system pause. Let's go and see the program. Okay, this is the program that you have seen in the slide. So let's compile this program and execute it. So first string is BAM 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So length is 10. And second string 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. So 13 is the string length. Now what if I increase the size of this string? So ARR जो string है या character array, इसका size मैंने रख दिया 100, and I am initializing it with just 10 letters, 10 alphabets. मैं 10 alphabets से इसको just initialize कर रहा हूँ, while the size of string is 100. So what is the length of the string? Now if you just notice that I have said that the size of the string is 100 and the length of the string is just 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. That is the length of the string. So size is the total number of bytes that will be allocated for that particular string, और then उस byte पे अगर 100 bytes हैं तो आपके पास ज़रूरी नहीं है कि string की length भी 100 हो, वो 100 भी हो सकती है, वो 100 से कम भी हो सकती है, right? So let's compile and run this program. You can see that still you have the string length function returns 10, even though we have increased the size from 10 to 100. Then how we can find the size of the string? Kitne bytes size? There's a function, size of function. We will see that function in detail. So size of function returns you the number of bytes that will be allocated for that particular variable, right? Let's see an example of size of function. Okay, so size 1, so let's say s1 and s2, and s1 is equal to size of ARR. Okay, so the memory, that the number of bytes that will be allocated for ARR will be calculated by this size of function, that is also a built-in function, C library function. You do not need to write the definition of this function, and it will return, this function return an integer value, that is the total number of byte allocated for this variable. Then s2 is equal to size of, let's say the other string is Humpty Dumpty. Let me copy that string constant over here as well. Okay, size is equal to %d comma s1 comma s2. So let me write over here as well, size is equal to %d. So this is s2. So s2 में Humpty Dumpty string जो है उसका size आ जाएगा, and size is total number of bytes that will be allocated for that particular string. Now let's first compile this program and execute it. Okay, now you see the string BAMBOOZLED, the length is 10 and the size is 100. String Humpty Dumpty, length is 13 and size is 14. Why size is 14? Because the last byte contains the null character, and that byte is also allocated for that string. So Humpty Dumpty string के लिए it allocates 14 bytes because Humpty Dumpty contains 13 alphabets or character, and the 14th byte will be for the null character, right? So the total number of bytes that will be allocated for Humpty Dumpty string is 14, but the string length, but the length of the string of Humpty Dumpty string is 13. There are 13 characters. Similarly, the string BAMBOOZLED, we store that string in an array whose size is 100. So 100 bytes of memory will be allocated. So size of function returns 100, and the string that is stored in this memory location, उसकी length कितनी है? उसकी length 100 है, उसकी length 10 है, and that is that string bamboozled, BAMBOOZLED, right? So size of function gives you the memory that will be allocated for that particular string or that particular variable. You can have integer variable int x semicolon, and then you can calculate the size of x, and then the size of function will return you 4, because for an integer variable 4 bytes of memory will be allocated, right? Okay, let me show you an example with the integer as well. So let's say we have ss1 variable and ss2 variable. Okay, ss1 variable, just another variable, integer variable. Now we are calculating the size of len1. So len1 variable जो है उसकी type क्या है? The type of len1 is integer, right? So the size of function returns the total number of bytes that is allocated for len1, and these are 4 bytes. So ss1 में हमारे पास value क्या आ जाएगी? 4. So let me write over here printf size is equal to %d comma ss1. तो ये ss1 का जो भी वैल्यू होगी इसको प्रिंट कर देगा और वैल्यू साइज ऑफ फंक्शन रिटर्न करेगा, राइट. सो कंपाइल इट, क्लोज एंड एग्जीक्यूट इट. Okay, you can see size is equal to 4. So size of that variable is 4. So if the type of len is character, so size of function will return 1. Then you can see it by yourself, right? Okay. Now next thing is you can write your own function that calculates the length of the string. Why you're writing your own function? Because for the better understanding that how this string length function works. So if you have to write your own string length function, then the name of that function shouldn't be strlen, because strlen के साथ एक function exist करता है जो कि C library में है. You cannot write the definition of another function with the same name that already exists. So strlen already exist करता है, right? So अगर आपने फंक्शन डेफिनेशन को ऐसा फंक्शन लिखना है जो कि स्ट्रिंग की लेंथ कैलकुलेट करे या जो सेम एज strlen फंक्शन जो काम करता है उसी तरह से काम करे, then you have to write that definition with a different name. So I put the name my string length. So this is my string length function, right? So let's see how we can write the definition of that function. So what we should provide to that function, when we call that function, we provide the base address of a string whose length we want to determine, and this function returns an integer value, that is counting of the character in that string until it finds null. So it starts from the base address, increment the pointer and increment the count until it finds null, and when it finds null the loop will be break, and then when the loop break it return the value of count. So let's see this is an array, character array in the main function whose name is a, containing 6 alphabets, and we have a string hello that is store. Then we have len variable, integer variable in the main function. So these are the variable in the main function. I will show you the program after that slide. So this is how you call the function. You see in the previous slide, this is how you call the function my string length from main or any other function. You provide the base address of the string. So ये दोनों variables जो हैं string a और len variable, these are in the main, and this is the part extracted from main. This is how you call the function. So and pass it the base address, and this function return an integer value that you will be catching in len function, that you will be storing in len variable. Sorry. So when this statement is executed, first the function will be executed, that is my string length. So the control goes to the definition of that function, and this is the definition of my string length function. So then this statement will be executed. When this statement will be executed, it allocates the memory for the pointer s, and it initializes s with the base address of a. You are passing the base address of a, that is 500. So it initializes that pointer value with 500, that is like this, and this is the connection. Now this pointer points to the beginning of the string. Then this is the next statement, that memory is allocated for length variable, integer type variable, और उसको आपने 0 से initialize कर दिए. Then we have a while loop. So while loop में condition क्या है? The condition is static s is not equal to null. So what is static s? Static s is static 500, and how we can speak static 500? Value at address 500. Value at address 500, and what is that value? That value is age. So you compare age with null. So age not equal to null, that is true. So condition is true. It comes inside while loop. It increments length. That means it find first character that is not null. So it increments the length, right? So length जो variable है जो कि calculate कर रहा है, इसकी length क्या होगी इस string की. So उसको आपने increment कर दिया, and then you increment the pointer. So s plus plus, when you increment it, s contains 500, then the new value of s is 501, because the type of the s is character, it's a character pointer. So the next character value will be 1 byte away from the previous value. Previous value is 500, then the next value is at address 501. Okay, then it checks the condition again. So next the condition is static s is not equal to null. Static s is now static 501, that is static value at address 501, and that value is e is not equal to null. This condition is also true. It comes inside the loop again, it increments the counter. Now the counter becomes 2. This means that we read 2 characters from the string and none of them is null. Then it increments the pointer, increments करेगा और उसकी value 502 हो जाएगी, and it points to next position in that array. Then we come again in the loop condition. Now the condition is static 502 is not equal to null. So static 502 is value at address 502, that value is L is not equal to null. That condition is true. So this condition is true, and then you come inside the loop, increment the length, value become 3. That means you have find 3 letters or 3 characters and none of them is null. Then you increment s pointer, now it points to next memory location. Then you again check the loop condition, and this times you will check static 503 is not equal to null, and static 503 means value at address 503, and that value is L again. So L not equal to null, this condition is true. It comes inside the loop, it increments the length, that become 4. This means that you have find 4 characters in that string and none of them is null. Then you increment the pointer, that is pointing to the array. The incremented value is now 504, it points to the next character in that array or string. And then it checks the loop condition. The loop condition is static 504 value at address 504, and that value is O is not equal to null. That condition is true. Then it increments the length, the incremented value becomes 5, and then it increments the pointer. Now the incremented value is 505. Now the pointer points to the next character, and that next character is null. So in the while loop, when you check the condition, it says static 505, the value at address 505, that is null. So null not equal to null, this is false or true? Null not equal to null, this is false. So condition becomes false, it comes outside the loop and it return the value, length की value return कर देगा. Length की value क्या है? 5. So 5 value will be returned and it will assign to that variable len. So इस variable में len value assign हो जाएगी, right? So you see this the working of string length function, that is very easy. It start counting the character, it reads the character and check whether it is null. If it is not null, it increase the loop, it increase the counter, that is length, that it counts how many characters are present, and then it increments the pointer to that string. और ये कब तक करता रहेगा? जब तक उसे null character नहीं मिल जाता. और वो जहाँ पर आप you are checking this thing in this condition. Now let's see the program. So this is the function जिसको अभी हमने डिटेल से देखा dry run करके, and this is how you call this function. Do you remember? So A is a string, this is A, और इसमें हमारे पास जो लिखा हुआ है string जो है that is hello world. So इस character array में जो हमारे पास string है that is hello world. Let's say we say that okay, the size of the string is 50. Does it increase the length of the string? No, it won't increase the length of the string. It will remain be same as before. Okay, let's say the size of the minimum size of this array. What should be the minimum size of this array? Total number of characters over here plus null characters. So these characters are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, and the minimum size of this character array or string should be 12. So these are 11 characters and 1 for the null. Okay, so what value should this function return? This function should return 11. So let's first compile this program, okay, and execute it. so it returns 11. You see, the memory that is allocated for this string is 12, but the string length is 11. The last character or last byte is for the null character. Now what will happen over here if we say, okay, the length is 100, it's still 11. In this particular case, the last byte, that is the byte that has the index 99, it doesn't contain null. Null कहाँ पर आएगा? पहले ये string आएगी और string के बाद जो next byte आ रही होगी, the null will be inserted over there, not at the 99th index position, right? Let's see something interesting. So you know that this statement will allocate the memory for this string, and the allocated memory is 100 byte, and at the 12th index 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, so at the 11th index it insert null character. Okay, you said that, okay, at 11th index insert character A. अब क्या होगा? जो null character है that will be overwritten by the A character, and when you pass this string to the string length function, now you don't know what is the length of that string because आपने null character को override कर दी है. और string length कैसे determine करता था? Length of the string using the null character. ठीक है? So let's see what happened in this case, whether we are getting the same value or different. Okay, we get 12 because maybe the next letter after this is null. So हो सकता है उसने 12th index पे null insert कर दिया. Okay, this is B. Now let's see what is the length. It is 13. So maybe that is the characteristics, or you can say, of the compiler, that if you allocate 100 byte for any string or any character array, and if you allocate it just the 12 byte or 10 bytes or 10 letters or 10 alphabets or 10 characters to that string, जिसको आपने 100 bytes तो allocate किए हैं, लेकिन उसमें से use कितने कर रहे हैं? just 10 कर रहे हैं और 11 कर रहे हैं. So बाकी जितने bytes हैं वहाँ पर वो null insert कर देगा खुद से. ठीक है? So this is a string length, and the size of function gives you different value, and you know that size of function will give you 100 actual bytes, that actual number of bytes that will be allocated for that string, and string length gives you the actual useful bytes, जितने bytes use हो रहे हैं for that string. ठीक है? So इस string में बाकी तमाम bytes waste जा रही हैं. We are just using 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 bytes, और 11 के इसके अलावा जितने भी bytes है 89 bytes, they are just gone waste because we are not using them, but they are still, the memory space is still allocated for them. ठीक है? So ये वही string length function है जिसको हमने डिटेल से देखा था. इसकी एक दफ़ा execution हमने देख ली है. It works perfectly fine. Now string copy function, strcpy, short for string copy. So this function copies the content of one string in another string. जिस तरह से हमारे पास अगर दो वेरिएबल हो x और y, if we want कि हमारे पास y की जो वैल्यू है that will be written in x, we can write x is equal to y semicolon. So the value of y will be transfer or will be assigned to x. So x की previous value overwrite हो गई है. But we cannot do in case of string. Let's say we have a string s1 and s2. I cannot write s1 is equal to s2 semicolon. It will not copy all the content of s2 in s1. Rather it gives me an error. I have to use a function, string copy function, to copy the content of one string in another string. The base address of the source and the target string should be supplied to this function. So source string is the string where you are going to read, and the target string is the string where you are going to write. So copy में यही होता है, एक जगह से आप read करते हैं और दूसरी जगह पर write करते हैं. That is copying, right? So in the string copy function, one string is the source string. Source string is the string from where you are going to read the character, and the target string is the string where you are going to write those characters. This is the prototype of the function. So the second string must be the source string. So second string जो भी आप इसको second string का जो base address होगा, जो भी ये string होगी, it will read that string and write the content over here. ठीक है? And it read that string and write the content over here. कब तक write करता रहेगा? जब तक इस string का end नहीं आ जाता. So these functions know the base address of the source string and the base address of the target string. So सोर्स एड्रेस से कब तक वो कैरेक्टर बाय कैरेक्टर रीड करके टारगेट स्ट्रिंग में राइट करता रहेगा, जब तक इस स्ट्रिंग का एंड नहीं आ जाता. एंड हाउ दैट स्ट्रिंग कॉपी फंक्शन नो कि इस स्ट्रिंग का एंड आ गया है? थ्रू नल कैरेक्टर, बिकॉज एवरी स्ट्रिंग टर्मिनेट्स एट नल कैरेक्टर. सो थ्रू नल कैरेक्टर दिस स्ट्रिंग कॉपी फंक्शन नोज दैट दिस स्ट्रिंग एंड इज टर्मिनेटिंग नाउ. ठीक है? सो सोर्स स्ट्रिंग को तमाम कैरेक्टर्स वन बाय वन करके कॉपी कर देगा टारगेट में until it finds the null character. So this is a program where you are using built-in string copy function. So this is a source and this is a target. You have to make sure one thing, that the size of the target string must be equal to or greater than the size of the source string or the string length or the length of the source string plus 1. So एक चीज आपने मेक श्योर करनी है कि टारगेट स्ट्रिंग का जो साइज है दैट शुड बी लेंथ ऑफ द सोर्स स्ट्रिंग प्लस 1 इज फॉर द नल कैरेक्टर. ठीक है? सो टारगेट स्ट्रिंग का इस केस में मिनिमम साइज क्या हो सकता है? मिनिमम साइज हो सकता है सोर्स स्ट्रिंग की लेंथ 1 2 3 4 5 प्लस 1 6. सो यू कैन राइट 6 ओवर हियर, दैट इज परफेक्टली फाइन. ठीक है? सो इस केस में ये सोर्स से तमाम कंटेंट उठाएगा और टारगेट में कॉपी कर देगा. एंड इन द printf स्टेटमेंट इट प्रिंट्स बोथ द स्ट्रिंग एंड देन व्हेन यू प्रिंट द टारगेट स्ट्रिंग इट प्रिंट्स यू हेलो ओवर हियर. ठीक है? सो दिस इज अ प्रोग्राम. We haven't initialized the target string with any value. The minimum size is 6, so we write 6 over here. If you write 10 or 16 or 20 over here, it's perfectly fine. There is no problem if you write 6 over here or any value greater than 6. But if you write any value greater than 6, then the bytes after the 5th index, that is 6th index byte, 7th index byte, and so on, they are wasted. I mean, they are not. We are not using those bytes. So let's compile this program first. Okay, and run it. So source string is hello and target string is hello. Okay, the press any key to continue. We can write it in the next line /n /n. Okay, what happen if we have another string over here? Let's say in capital we have hello over here as well. So let me print those line over here, print f. So let me write before string copy and then after string copy. ओके, सो अब हमने टारगेट स्ट्रिंग को भी इनिशियलाइज कर दिया किसी स्ट्रिंग के साथ, और वो क्या है? कैपिटल में हेलो लिखा हुआ है. सो कैपिटल में हेलो और स्मॉल में हेलो, दे आर बोथ डिफरेंट थिंग्स, राइट? सो वी आर प्रिंटिंग बोथ स्ट्रिंग्स बिफोर कॉपी फंक्शन एंड देन आफ्टर कॉपी फंक्शन. एंड लेट्स सी द इफेक्ट. बिफोर कॉपी फंक्शन यहाँ पर स्मॉल हेलो आएगा और टारगेट स्ट्रिंग में हमारे पास अपर केस में हेलो आएगा. आफ्टर स्ट्रिंग कॉपी फंक्शन दोनों लोअर केस में हेलो होंगे. लेट्स सी. Okay, forget to put semicolon over here. Compile, okay, and run. Okay, you see, before string copy function and here after string copy function. So before string copy function, source string is hello and target string is capital hello, right? And then after string copy function में क्या हुआ है कि यहाँ पर इस दोनों printf के बाद हमने सोर्स को टारगेट में कॉपी कर दिया. सो सोर्स के तमाम कंटेंट टारगेट में कॉपी हो गए एंड इट विल बी लाइक दिस, हेलो, राइट. So even if the size of the string is larger and we have, let's say, string is good afternoon, so that is a string, and let's see what happened over here. So before string copy function it will write hello and good afternoon, and after string copy function it will write hello and just hello, small hello. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is before string copy. Source string is hello and target string is good afternoon. So after string copy, so string copy का function क्या करता है, वो override कर देता है. सेम जिस तरह से हमारे पास दो वेरिएबल्स हैं x and y, x की वैल्यू 10 है, y की वैल्यू 20 है, and if we want to override the value of x, we can write x is equal to y, so value of y will be assigned to x, so the previous value of x will be overwritten with the value of y, and the both variables की value अब हो जाएगी 20, x की वैल्यू भी 20 और y की वैल्यू भी 20. Same is the case here. Target string की value we have copied the content of the source in the target string, so its value become hello, and the previous value of the target string is good afternoon, and that was lost actually. So it write hello, and the next byte it write null character. Okay? And this printf function, when you write this %s in printf function and you provide the base address of the string, you said it's like you are saying to the printf function, okay, this is the base address, start printing a string. How the printf function know that it's a string? With this format specifier %s, that it has to print the string starting from this address, and where it has to end, it has to end at the null character. जहाँ पर null आएगा वहाँ पर वो terminate करेगा, right? Okay, let's write my string copy function. This is the same as we have written my string length function. The logic for my string copy is the same as we have my string length, because we cannot write a function, two function with the same name, right? Then there is a conflict. This is an array A, character array A in main function. This is a character array B in main function, and we are going to copy the content of A in B. So the function call will be look like this. So this is the source. It will copy the content of the second string in the first string. So जो second base address है यहाँ से read करेगा, और first जो base address हम provide कर रहे हैं to my string copy function उसमें write कर देगा, and that is same as string copy function. So this is the main जहाँ से आप इस function को call कर रहे हैं. It will return nothing actually. It just write the content in B, और वो कौन से content है, वो A के content है. It will start reading the content from this address, from the address we provide in the second parameter, and write them in the address we providing in the first parameter. And when this function execute, it comes to the definition of the function, and this is the definition. So we are passing two addresses. We have two pointers, character pointers over here, because these are the addresses where we have characters, जहाँ पर character store है. So we must have a character pointer over here. So now when this statement is executed, we have T and S. So S point to array A and T points to array B. So this will be the scenario. So यहाँ पर S or T, they are the local variables of my string copy function, and A and B are the character array or the string variable of main function. Now we have a while loop, so we move on. We are checking first static S. If it is null, we stop that loop and comes outside the loop and put null at static T. And if it is not null, we comes inside, we copy the content of static S in static T. So static S is H, and static T is this position. So when this statement will be executed, H will be written over here. And then we increment both pointer and we keep on checking static S. So source string को आपने देखते रहना है जब तक आप null find नहीं कर लेते. So let's dry run this program. Then you check the while loop condition. This condition is static s is not equal to null. Static s is static 500, value at address 500 is age. So age not equal to null condition is true. It comes inside the loop. So when this statement is executed, that is static t is equal to static s. So हमारे पास यहाँ पर h लिखा आ जाएगा. That position is static t. This value, so value of t is 600. And what is the value of static t? That is h. Value of s is 500. What is the value of static s? That is h. So h will be written at static t position, and static t is this position. Okay. Then you increment. Next statement is you increment s pointer. So s pointer जब increment होगा, it points to the next element. Then you increment the t pointer. Then it points to the next element. उसके बाद you check again the while loop condition. The condition is static 501, value at address 501 is not equal to null, and that value is e, and that is not equal to null. So this means that the condition is true. It comes inside the loop. Static t is not equal, sorry, static t is equal to static s. So static s में हमारे पास क्या value है? That is e. It will assign that value to static t position, and that is this position. So यहाँ पर हमारे पास e आ जाएगा. Right? Then it again increments the loop pointer. Sorry, it increments the both pointers. First it increment s. This is the increment. It points to the next byte in that array. Increment t, it points to the next byte in that array. And then it checks the while condition again. So this is the condition. Static s is static 502, value at address 502, that is l. So L not equal to null condition is true. Then the assignment statement static s, the value at static s is L. So L को जो copy कर देगा static t position पे, and then we have L over here, right? Then it increment s. So s points to the next memory location. It increments t. It points to the next memory location. Then it checks the while loop condition again. So L not equal to null. So static 503, static s is static 503, static 503 is L, L not equal to null condition is again true. So it comes inside the loop. It is again assignment. It assigned the value of static s to static t. L will be assigned over here. And then it increment s. So s की value increment होके it points to the next memory location. Then it increments pointer t. It points to the next memory location. Then it checks the loop condition. Now static s is O. O is not equal to null. That is again true. So it comes inside the loop and it assigns static s to static t location, and static s is O. So this will be written over here. You can see. And then it increments s. So now s point to the next memory location that contains the null character, and it increment t, it points to the next memory location. Then it comes to the while loop condition and check the condition. Now static s is not equal to null. Now static s is static 505, and static 505 is null. So value at address 505, that is null. So null not equal to null condition is false. So when the condition is false, it comes outside the loop. लूप से बाहर आ जाएगा और static t position पर null insert कर देगा. Why it insert null over here? Because it's a job of string copy function कि वो target string के end पर when it copy all the characters or all the alphabets from the second string in the target string, then at the end of the target string it should insert null character. So then we have here, after the loop we insert the null character at the end of that string, right? So this is the whole working of the myString copy function, and let's see the program where we have the same definition and we are calling this function from the main. So this is the string copy function. So we have a string, source string, and this is the target string. This, you have to make sure that the size of the target string must be greater than or equal to the length of source string plus 1. So जितनी भी इसकी लेंथ है +1 इसका साइज होना चाहिए, right? This is the same function you have seen in the slide. Let's compile this program and execute it. So we haven't initialized the target string with any value, ठीक है? So my string copy function, what it will do, it will copy the content of source from the source to the destination. So the value of destination, the target becomes hello world again. So its value is hello world, right? Now let's see what is a constant. Let's go to the previous slide and see. So this is a source string, right? And we do not want that my string copy function is able to change its value. अगर जहाँ पर इस फंक्शन में हम लिख दें कि static s is equal to m, तो वो static s पोजीशन पर m इंसर्ट कर देगा. That means कि उसने ओरिजिनल अरे को चेंज कर दिया है, ठीक है? And that what we won't want, that my string copy function would be able to change the source string. So that's why in string copy function this is a constant. Okay, now let's see what is a constant. The second parameter to the string copy function should be character constant static. That is, you are not able to change the value of that string. कौन सी string? Let's go to the previous slide. This string. If it is not constant, like here in this case it's not constant, so through this function you are able to change the value of this string. For example, as I told you, if you write static s is equal to m, so it will write at static s position m, ठीक है? static s जिस position पर होगा, जिस position पे वो pointer point कर रहा होगा string में, वहाँ पर वो m लिख देगा. That means you have modified the content of the actual string a, and that what you won't want when you are call the string copy function, because this should be read only. This function, my string copy function, you have to restrict that function, that this function won't be able to write or manipulate this second parameter. It is able to write over here, and what it should write over here, it should write the content of source, and it shouldn't be able to modify the source. So we have to make this source constant. So the second parameter to string copy should be character constant. The following code fragment would help you to fix your idea about constant further. Let's see this code. This is a simple example. We have a character pointer that points to a string constant. So this is memory allocated for a string constant first, and then we have a character that takes 4 bytes of memory, and this character points to that memory location. Then we have this statement, when this statement will be executed. So static p is static 500. So static 500 is this location, and we are assigning the letter m over here. So m will be written over here when this statement is executed. When the third statement is executed, it allocates memory for a string bye by, and then the address of that string, so address of the memory that is allocated for by string, the base address will be assigned to p, not static p. So p is this value, that is the currently it is 500. So when the third statement is executed, its value becomes 600, and it points to the next array. So you see, none of things, that is the pointer and the string here, are not constant. That means they are variables. You can change the value of the string here, like you change m over here, and you can change the value of the pointer over here as well, that is 600. So none of them are constant over here. Let's see a very simple example. You have a constant integer x. So now x is a constant, and you are assigning a value 5 to x. And afterwards in program, if you assign any other value to x, let's say 10, then the compiler won't allow this, because x is just a read-only variable. A constant is always a read-only variable, read-only thing. It's not a variable. We can say a constant is a read-only thing. So you cannot change the value of x further in the program, because it is constant. You have write the keyword const, C-O-N-S-T. Const stand for constant. That is a keyword in C. And that what does that mean? This means that x is a constant variable. ठीक है, x को आप एक दफा वैल्यू असाइन कर देंगे और वो चेंज नहीं हो सकेगी, एंड यू हैव टू असाइन दैट वैल्यू एट डिक्लेरेशन टाइम, एंड देन यू कैन नॉट चेंज दैट वैल्यू. So keep this thing in mind. So you cannot change the value of the constant. Now we have used the word constant character static q is equal to hello. Now in this case string is fixed and pointer is not. So this means that you cannot change the value of this string. If you string a hello, that is constant, but the value of the pointer can be changed, right? So if the first statement is executed, memory is allocated for hello and we have a pointer q that points to that memory location जहाँ पर hello लिखा हुआ है. So this is constant. String is fixed means that string is constant, you cannot change the value, but the pointer is not, and the pointer is variable. So this is a variable over here. So when the second statement is executed, it won't write m over here. So static q is this memory location. You can read the content and you can display those content, but you cannot assign any new value to those content. So यहाँ पर आप m नहीं लिख सकते, यहाँ पर वैल्यू चेंज नहीं कर सकते, यहाँ पर भी और इस पूरी स्ट्रिंग को आप चेंज नहीं कर सकते. So if you try to write something like this, it will give you an error because this is just a read only thing. You can just read the value from here, not write. But you can change this 500 value. The value of the pointer can be changed. Like in the third statement, when this statement is executed, it will allocate memory for by string and it assign the starting base address of by to this pointer. Now this pointer points to this memory location. Okay? So when you write const with character before character, const character static q, this means that this character array is constant, not the pointer. Pointer constant nahi hai. So value of pointer can be changed, like as I've shown you in this example. The next is pointer is fixed and string is not. Now this const is in between static and t. Now the pointer is constant, pointer t is constant. Now character static const t. So pointer is constant, but this character array, this string is not. So you can change the value of hello, but you cannot change the value of this pointer. So when the first statement is executed, we have a memory that, और उस memory location पे we hello लिखा हुआ है, and then we have a pointer t that points to that memory location, right? And when we execute the second statement, okay, before executing, let's see what is a variable. So this string is a variable. String is not fixed. That means you can change any value over here. You can write m, l, whatever. You assign new values over here. You can read that value and you can write over here. But this is a constant. This pointer, value of pointer is constant. You cannot change this value. This is always 500 in this whole program. If you write like this, const with pointer, right? So when the second statement is executed, so static t is this memory location, so it will write m over here. That is perfectly fine, it works. But if you have another string by and you want that this pointer initialized to a new string by, so that is not possible because you cannot change this value. Okay? Next, string is fixed, so is pointer. In this case both things are fixed. So you have const character static const u. So character से पहले जब const आएगा, that means this string is constant. और जब static से के बाद const आएगा, that means that this pointer is constant. ठीक है, character से पहले जब static आएगा, this means that the string is constant, like we have in the previous slide. Let me show you in the previous slide. So const character static q. So string is constant, pointer is not constant. But when we have a const over here, then this is also constant. Okay, so in this scenario we are not able to change, this is constant and this is also constant, and we are not able to change the value of this string. This is also read only and this is also read only. This is not allowable to change these value. So pointer की value भी change नहीं कर सकते because pointer is also constant, and string की value भी change नहीं कर सकते because string is also constant, right? Okay, next function is strcat. Okay, constant, जब आप second parameter string copy function को constant string pass करेंगे, then that string copy function won't be able to change that value. वो source string के content को change नहीं कर सकेगा, उसे change नहीं करने चाहिए. So इस चीज़ को make sure करने के लिए वो change ना कर सके, we make that parameter as string const. Now strcat, this function concatenates the source string at the end of the target string. So हमारे पास source string है, target string है, and it will concatenate the content of the source string at the end of the target string. So target string में अगर कुछ लिखा हुआ है या वो empty है, अगर कुछ लिखा हुआ है तो उसके end पर जाके append करेगा source string के content को. Copy ऐसे नहीं कर रहा था, copy target string के शुरू में append कर देता था. So this function is kind of extension of a string copy function. For example, we have a hello and world on the concatenation. The result is hello world. ठीक है, so साथ मिला कर लिख देगा. Function prototype is, so this is the target, this is source, so it will start reading the content of the source and writing to the target string, but where? Not at the beginning, at the end of the target string. What is the end? It start writing from the null character in T string. Okay, let's see the program. So we have a source string and we have a target string. So it read the content of the source and write at the end of target. So target में हमारे पास hello already है, it won't overwrite hello. ठीक है, so here we call the function and this is the to printf. Let's see the program. So this is the program. So what if I write these both string before strcat and then after strcat. So let's see the difference. Okay, compile that program and execute it. You see, this is the before strcat, source is false and target is hello. So after strcat, it write the content of source at the end of target. So target क्या थी? Hello. So false तो थे वो content थे source के, so it write it at the end of target string. So we have in target hello false. So यहाँ पे space अगर include करनी, if you want to include the space over here, so you can write, you can put space over here. So अगर यहाँ पर space है तो अब आपके पास resultant string में भी space आएगी. Now you can see the space over here. So this space is actually the part of the target string. It could be the part of the source string. Like for example, if you have a space over here and you remove the space over here, so now this space will appear when you combine both strings. Okay, like this, same. Okay, so strcat function concatenate the content of the string whose address is provided as a second parameter to that function and write those content at the end of the string whose address is provided as the first parameter to strcat function. Let's write my strcat function. ठीक है, उसी तरह से जिस तरह से you have written my string length, जिस तरह से we have seen my string copy, we can write my strcat as well. So this is the target string we have in the main function. So target string should be large enough that it accommodate all the content of the source string, and this is the source string world. So it would write after the execution of my string copy function, it will write all those content over here. This is how the function is called from the main. So source target. So whatever address you provide as a second parameter, it start reading the content from here and write at the end of this address. इस string के end पर append करेगा. And what is the end of that string? It's not here. This is not the end. Its end is where it finds the null character. So this is actually the memory allocated for target. This is not the length of the string. This is the size of the string. That the memory allocated for that string is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 bytes, and the length of the string is 5. Memory allocated for source is 1 2 3 4 5 6 6. So the size of this string is 6 and the string length of this string is 5. Okay, now let's see the strcat function. So you can see you are familiar with this while loop, second while loop. The second while loop it's same ditto same as we have used in my string copy function, but the first while loop is for, so when you call the function, so let's see when you call the function, so we have a s pointer that points to the source string and the target pointer t pointer that points to the target string of the main function. So the first for loop, while loop, it moves the static t pointer until it points to the null character in the target string. So it start moving that pointer and it breaks when the static t is null. So जब static t यहाँ पर point कर रहा होगा null पर, तब ये loop break हो जाएगा. And this is the string copy there. Then we are copying the content of s, static s into static t, static s into static t, right? So it start moving static t first, like this. This is not null, this is not null, true condition, this is null. Now the condition in the while loop become false. First while loop की condition है false हो जाएगी. It comes inside the second while loop, and second while loop में क्या दिखेगा कि static s is not equal to null. The condition is true. If the condition is true, it comes inside the loop, so it write this content over here. जहाँ पे null है इसको वो overwrite कर देगा. So w will be written over here. You can see w will be written over here in this position. And then it increments t, increment s. Then again in the while condition it checks static s is not equal to null. No, static s is o. O is not equal to null. Condition is true. It comes inside the while loop and it check. This is assignment. So it assigns static s, that is o, to this position. यहाँ पर हमारे पास o लिखा आ जाएगा. Then it increments t, it increment s. Again it check the while loop condition, static s, that is r, not equal to null, condition is true. Then it copy static s content into static t, so r will be written over here. And then it increments t, increment s. Then it check the condition again, static s is l, l not equal to null. Then it comes inside, the condition in the loop is true, it comes inside the loop and copy the content of static s into static t, so l will be written over here. It increments the pointer t and then it increments the pointer s, right? And then उसके बाद वो दोबारा condition दिखेगा while loop की. So condition becomes static s, that is d is not equal to null, condition is true. It comes inside the loop and copy the content of static s into static t, so d will be written over here. Now increment t, increment s, it checks the loop condition, static s. Now the static s is null, null is not equal to null, condition is false. So it comes outside the loop and it will write null. You see the last statement, it writes the null at static t. So यहाँ पर वो null लिख देगा. Now when you print that string, target string, in the main function, तो आपके पास वो hello world पूरा लिख देगा, because यहाँ से वो null remove करके you have write the content of the source over here and then you put the null at the end of that string. ठीक है? When you declare a string and you initialize it, C will automatically put null character at the end of the string. When you take input string from the user using scanf function or multivert string using getters function, C automatically insert null character at the end of the string. But when you write string manipulation function by your own, you have to make sure that you have insert the null character at the target string. Okay? Let's go and see the program. So this is the program, this is the function. So this function is the extension of the string copy function. This is a string copy function, same string copy function, and this while loop is there to move the target to the null character. Okay, So this is the prototype of this function. So this is a header file of this. So whenever, if you want to use string manipulation function, here we are not using any string manipulation function. This is our own string manipulation function, right? If I am using standard C string manipulation function, that is strcat only, like this, then I am not calling this function, right? So I am calling C standard function, then it's good if you include this file, right? So let's call this function with strcat, that is standard C library function, and see the output. So this is the output. It concatenate the content of the source at the end of the target string. So target string में हमारे पास hello था और यहाँ पे इसने append कर दिए content. ठीक है? So अगर हम देखें my string की definition function की, let's compile this program first and execute it. So this is the same output. Now you know how this string function works actually, but there is one function left, that is string compare, string cmp. इसके अलावा काफ़ी सारे फंक्शन हैं जो बुक में दिए हैं, you can see, and you can after this lecture you should be able to write the definition of most of those function, or maybe all of those function. You should attempt this thing, that write the definition of all the string manipulation function, ताकि आपको string का और pointers का एक अच्छा idea हो जाए, उसकी अच्छी आपके पास एक grip बन जाएगी. String copy is short for string compare. It compares two strings to find out whether they are same or different. The two strings are compared character by character until there is a mismatch or end of one of the string is reached. So if the first string is ABC and the second string is also ABC, so it first compare A with A. Let's say both are small, so it first compare A with A, then it compares B with B, then it compares C with C, and then there is a null, so it returns 0. This means that both strings are equal. So if both strings are identical, string compare returns 0, and if they are not, it returns the numeric value. So let's say if the strings are ABC and ACB. Now it compares A with A, first with first letter A and A, then it compares A with C. So there is a difference. So अब ASCII value of B और ASCII value of C, इन दोनों में subtraction का operation perform होगा, and whatever is the value, that will be return, that will be the return value of string compare function. ठीक है? So this is a program. You see you have string 1, that is Jerry, string 2 Ferry. Okay, so now what is the value of I, J, K? So J and F, the difference between, so the difference of ASCII value, so here it returns the same value because string 1 is Jerry and this is a string constant Jerry, so it returns 0 over here. String 1 and string 2, it returns non-zero value over here, and string 1 and Jerry boy, here it returns again non-zero value. Let's see the program. Okay, first this is the same program that I have shown you in the slide. First I compile and run this program. So it returns 0, 1, minus 1. Okay, 0 over here, 1 over here, and minus 1 over here. Now if the values are, let's say this value is ABC and this value is ABC. Let's change this program a little bit. Okay, strcmp. Now string compare function, what it should return over here. Let me write the small name. Okay, string 1 and string 2, S2. So S1 comma S2. One by one, we will check one by one what is the difference actually. So if I run this program, it should give me 0. So 0, that means both strings are identical. So if I write ACB, okay, the ASCII value of small a is, I guess, 97. So ASCII value of capital A is 65, ABC. Let's write in capital ABC. So it compares 65 and 65, return result is 0. 66 with 66, result is again 0. 67, 67, result is again 0, and then null. So this means that both strings are equal. But what if I have B over here and A over here? So when it compares first character 65 minus 66, so it returns non-zero value, and let's see what is that non-zero value. That is -1. Why -1? Because ASCII value of S1 का जो first letter है, that is capital A, and the ASCII value of capital A is 65, right? And ASCII value of capital B is 66. So अब इंटरनली ऑपरेशन क्या बनेगा? ये कंपेयर जो करता है, ये देखता है कि उसमें सब्ट्रैक्शन परफॉर्म करता है. सब्ट्रैक्शन किस तरह से? 65 minus 66. If you write something like int x, and x is equal to s1 of 0 minus s2 of 0, so what is the result? Can you guess the result? So s1 is of 0. 0th इंडेक्स पे s1 के कौन सा एलिमेंट है? a है. और 0th इंडेक्स पे s2 के कौन सा एलिमेंट है? b है. And the operation performed between a and b is a minus b. That is an arithmetic operation. How we can perform arithmetic operation between characters? Whenever the arithmetic operation between character is performed, it is performed between the ASCII values of the character. So the ASCII value of A is 65 minus 66, and the result is -1. So that's why we have -1 over here, right? So what if we have A, B, C and B, A, C? Now it's 66 minus 65. That will be the operation, और वो हमें यहाँ पे result क्या देगा? 1, positive 1 result आएगा. This again means that the strings are not equal. So 1. So यहाँ पे मैं आपको बताने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि ये non-zero value किस base पे return करेगा, so that you are able to write the definition of string compare function. That is your task, or you can say that is your homework, to write the definition of my string compare function. In this particular case, अब यहाँ पर जो ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म हो रहा है, that is 66 minus 65, right? ये ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म हो रहा है, ठीक है? ASCII वैल्यू जो B की है, that is 66, और ASCII वैल्यू जो A की है, that is 65. So उनकी ASCII वैल्यू को कंपेयर करेगा. If they are not comparable, if the subtraction operation is non-zero, it will return that value. If the subtraction operation is 0, for example, we have A over here and A over here, both values are A. So then it moves to the next character of both the strings. So the next character is C and B. So ASCII value of C is 67 and B is 66. So in this case, it should return 1. Let's see. So it return 1 again. So जहाँ पर भी difference, जिस point पर difference non-zero आ जाएगा, non-zero value आ जाएगी, it return that value. That is the whole story behind the string compare function. ठीक है? Now you should be able to write the definition of string compare function. Let me summarize our today's lecture. In today's lecture, we have seen some of the most frequently used C standard library function for string manipulation. For string, these functions are string length, that is used to find the length of the string; string copy, that is used to copy the content of one string in another string; strcat function, that is used to concatenate the content of one string at the end of the other string; and string compare function, that is used to compare the content of two strings. So बाकी तमाम जितने भी functions हैं, there is a list of all the string functions that is provided by the C. You can find this list in the book. We have seen the definition, or we have write the definition of string length, string compare and strcat function, and it's your homework to write the definition of string compare function.